Good day, dear friend, and welcome to this live version of this thing of ours. This is April 1st, April Fool's Day 2024, and this is a live version from Lionel Legal. That is exactly what this is the sister channel to Lionel Nation for you and yours to review and to consider thus accordingly and the like. Now, in no particular reason, let me kind of give you a kind of an update as to what we're going on here, and there's no beginning point to this, but let me see if we can start anyway. Number one, the mainstream media want you never to ask any questions. They want to make you think that you are ill-equipped, you're stupid, you don't know anything. You don't know anything about anything. You're a conspiracy nut. You're paranoid. You're a freak. You're a loon. You don't know what's going on. You're crazy. We don't want to hear what you have to say. And of the stories that are going on right now, they are the most interesting, and you will see exactly. And the only reason why I tell you to pay attention to fake news, but to legacy media is to find out what angle they're taking. That's the most important thing. I want you to see where they're going in terms of the angle they want you to believe. Now, first and foremost, there is a story which I find to be incredible. And it specifically is one of the Baltimore Key Bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, let me ask you, Captain Trips, good day to you. You may not have been necessarily involved in my neck of the woods. I have been called a conspiracy theorist forever, which means I'm right. And I'm really not one, because oftentimes I will say, I need proof. I need proof. We're not ready to convict anybody, but we have a lot here to make us say, wait a minute, this story doesn't make any sense. Let's review this. Now, right off the bat, my question to you is, do you find folks who are watching this live broadcast now, do any of you have the slightest trepidation, the slightest question as to what is happening regarding the Baltimore Key Bridge? Or do you feel like, no, I've got nothing to see here? If there were anything about this, anything that was at all inordinate or out of the ordinary, I would be told about it. Pete Booty Giggity Giggity. The Department of Transportation would do this. The president would do this. The FBI would be investigating this. In no way do I suspect or believe that there's anything at all funny about this. Whatever you saw, that was exactly the way it was. Mr. Tripp says, I honestly believe it was an accident. Excellent. Now, when you say an accident, interesting. Do you believe that the attendant collapse was necessarily a part of what would be a normal accident? Do you think that when that was designed, this is my question, that was designed, and this is, by the way, please, I want everybody to come forward with all due respect. You do not have to in any way suggest anything to the contrary, and I appreciate this. And I am not an expert in this. But my question to you is simply this. Do you believe that this bridge was designed that when you hit it here, everything falls down? Anybody? Does anybody believe that in the year 2024, based upon this, and there are, remember, this has to be designed and constructed and organized and provided for in a way that if you have these stanchions or pylons, or whatever these things are called, that you're going to have to say, let's see what happens when they are hit. Kind of makes sense, right? And let's see what happens. And if they are hit, does one collision bring down the whole bridge? That's the question I have. It's not that it was an accident. Of course it's an accident. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. I mean, I am surprised this thing isn't hit all the time. But remember, these are either competent people or not, depending upon where you're from. Some people say they have crews that come on board, that the pilots come on, and I don't know. But here's my question. The only thing I'm wondering about, when it's hit, it just falls like that? It just falls like that? Does that make any sense? I mean, do people really? I mean, I don't know. It could be. It could be. How do I know? How am I supposed to know? I have no earthly idea at all. Something doesn't seem that I want to look more into. And I can ask these questions all I want, but nobody's answering them. So the first question I would like to do is to have a series of experts and say, look at this. Why doesn't this happen more often? How many times has there been a collision? Wasn't exactly full speed. Now, some people have also talked to about the fact that there was a power shortage before this and the generator went off and there was no backup and whatever. I just want experts to come forward, almost like that X2, that debate series, and have people look at this and say, yep, looks fine to me. So this bridge is designed that when it's hit here, it falls down. Yep. That's the way it's designed. That's the way it's designed. Really? Yep. You hit it here and boom, that's it. Okay. Fair enough. I would think not. I would think that when you have a bridge and you're going to have boats and barges and tugs and everything, you're going to have to figure out every kind of contingency there is. You see that? Did you know that when the World Trade Center buildings were constructed, someone said at the time that the original construction of the World Trade Center was such that it was designed to take, I think, a 727 versus not a 747, but they were trying to show that the plane that it was designed to be able to withstand was actually smaller than the plane that actually hit. And later on, interestingly enough, I found this interesting. Later on, they said, which I found interesting, they said that there was a, how do I say this? They said that let me see here, just a second. They said, hang on a minute. Interesting. Anyway, they said that when this thing originally took place, the original design, the World Trade Center tower could take a smaller plane, but because fuel efficiency was not as good then as it is now, those smaller planes actually carried more fuel. Now, this is what somebody said one time. I don't know. Because when people look at things fall down, 9/11 was one and others, a lot of lay people ask very good questions, and you need experts to come forward to say, well, let me answer this for you. That's one of those things. Now, let me ask you very, very simply. Of you fine, wonderful, glorious folks. And by the way, thank you so very much for being here today. I appreciate this. Thank you for supporting our new channel. It means a lot to me. I appreciate this because I want to be able to expand elsewhere. And one of the things I want to do too, Trips and Edward, Arruda, Pittman, Bork, Shea, all the usual suspects. I want to engage with you here and not like some folks who do a live channel and you don't even know they're live. There's no reason for them to be live. I mean, they're talking to each other, but there's no reason. The host never does it. Do you understand? Now, let me ask you something. Do you believe that right now the Key Bridge case should just be investigation? That's enough. Nothing to see here. Yes or no? Anybody have a problem with that? Anybody to think the Key Bridge case, we should just say, okay, that's it. Looks like an accident to me. And okay, fair enough. Anybody? Mr. Pittman, Larry, would you like Zigzag, Bork, Dickie, Eddie, Cap and Trippy? Huh? Anybody say, that's enough. Everything's fine. I honestly believe it's an accident. No reason. Don't investigate it. Simple. It happens. Let's move on. Johnny says cyber. Johnny, why is it a cyber attack? Why do you believe, sir, with all due respect, why do you believe that this is a cyber attack? Could be. I don't know. Where is the cyber attack? Where is the evidence? Where are the indicia? They call them supports for a reason. That's very good. None of us believe this. None of us believe this. That it should just come. Now, let me just be very, very clear here. All I ask is a question. 777 investigation is most definitely in order. Absolutely. Absolutely. I ask questions. And also, do you remember one thing? And this is very important. Tell me you realize this and tell me you recognize this fact. And just because you ask a question, just because you're saying, I think we need to get to the bottom of this, does not mean you are attributing the attack to anybody else. Does not mean you were suggesting Hamas, Israel, France, NATO, the Soviet Union, which is no more. Nothing. You're not saying it's Biden, it's nothing. They used to always suggest that. They used to always suggest, it was very, very interesting. Years ago, when people would pose questions as to 9/11, not everybody, some people some people had absolute belief that, wow, that's Cheney, and they knew. I mean, I think there's no evidence of that. But whenever you ask a question, people would say, well, what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting? Oh, are you saying it's an inside job? No. I'm saying that the evidence that you presented as the official narrative, I don't believe it. I don't believe the official narrative. I don't believe the official narrative of what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, who did it? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Now, we can sit there and say, is it China? Somebody writes, is it China? Why would you think it's China? Well, I don't know. Could it be Putin? Why do you say that? Could be anybody. That's not what investigators do. We don't sit there and say, could it be somebody? Are you folks, do you remember the O.J. Simpson case? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Many, you might, I don't know how old you are, but I was on the air then. I lived and breathed the O.J. Simpson case. The O.J. Simpson case was mine. I lived it. I owned it. I love it. Okay? You understand this? And there was a time when during the O.J. Simpson case, people would say, AC, Al Cowlings, he did it. He did it. Well, Justin, the son? What? Remember, it was I think it was, remember Brown, the sister? They would just give names out. They would just give a name. And I said, well, why do you think? Well, it could be. No. Suspicion does not mean giving out a possible name. It means, well, why would you think there'd be any kind of a nexus whatsoever? I don't know. So you don't just say China. Why would China do this? France, inside, then the inside job. I mean, you can just, that's not investigation to me. That's not even a conspiracy theory. That's just boring. That's just crazy talk. When COVID first hit and people were saying, well, I think it's from, it's like, well, excuse me, you don't know anything. We don't even know. Well, could be. Those are the people that are the conspiracy theorists that I hate. I despise these folks. I remember when, you remember when people were saying that they were bringing kids in? Remember this during COVID? They're bringing kids in tunnels. And there was a couple of people, I'm not going to mention their name, but there are people who are on the air. It were tunnels. What? Oh, yeah, they're bringing the kids in. They're bringing in kids? Why are they bringing in kids? Why during COVID? Well, they're bringing them in and they're selling them, and they're bringing them in tunnels. Where did you get this from? Well, I know this. Where do you know this from? I don't. And So people enjoyed watching this because it's like, that's great. It's like, no, this is a narrative with no, I can come up with a crazy narrative too that's not based on any kind of fact. I mean, if you want. Remember when they said that kids were being brought in furniture and Wayfair? Remember that's like, where'd you get that from? Well, I don't know. There was this one they were selling. It lasted like a week, but people were actually saying this stuff. This is so just because you point something out. First of all, is there any evidence of this? Do you remember when during COVID when the comfort the ship the comfort came in? Mrs. Al and I went across the street. We went to across West Side Highway, and there's the ship. There it was, and we used to see the ship all the time. And there would be Marines and others doing PT and physical training and running, and I don't know what they did. They just were standing around and they were just guarding something. We never saw ambulances, never saw stretchers, never saw anything. Never saw anything. We just saw these people running and doing all this stuff. Okay, fine. So then later on, during the course of this stuff, we decided, all right, let's look at this and let's. And then people said they brought in children. Again, I'm not going to mention. There's some names, and you would know the names. And I thought, I didn't think these people were crazy, but I thought they did everything a disservice. They always have these great theories without explaining. Well, what is it that you're supposed to? Where'd you get this from? Spirit cooking. Remember those folks? What's that about? Well, there it is. Abramovich, yeah, spirit cooking. What about it? Well, I think we know what that's about. No, what is that about? Well, you see what? And if I didn't know better, I think people were deliberately putting in stories like this to make our. And I would always say, "Hold it! Stop! 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 It, make it. Don't just say spirit cooking. They're doing it. Oh, John Podesta giving these weird signals, using these codes. Look at this. What are we saying here? Listen, I'm all for, maybe some probable cause. Let's look into this. But people didn't stop at that. They said, oh, no. This is a ring of child, whatever it was. That's what I said. Now hold it. Now you don't know this. You were great at proposing probable cause, not reasonable doubt. So these things just start, and we see this all the time. There are people who believe that, oh, God, I'm not going to go through this. But here's the thing I'm saying. I'm asking questions. What was that again? I'm asking questions. I'm telling you what I feel from what little I know, what I feel comfortable about. You do know there will be no, repeat, there will be no investigation by anybody. Pete Booty Giggity will do nothing. Nothing. He will say nothing. Nothing. Nothing will come of this. But the amount of lost revenue, supplies, fuel, fertilizer, it's unbelievable. Okay, let's put that out of the way. Next, who believes that Kate Middleton is recovering from her cancer surgery, is fine, and that any and all phony pictures or absences from public have been completely described? Even though we are not British citizens or subjects, we do not normally care about this. But how many of you feel completely with everything that was said regarding Kate Middleton? Tell me, anybody? 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 Anybody at all? Anybody? Anybody feel like sounds good to me? There's her picture. Wow. This was the best FU to the world like anything. Okay. This is one of the best stories. This is part and parcel of an exercise in, I don't want to say controlled opposition or cognitive dissonance or whatever your favorite word is, but this was something that says this is gaslighting. You were completely gaslighted. During 9/11, when people, I was here, you were, this was 20, America's forgotten all about it, so I guess it's free to talk about it. Nobody cares. Nobody brings anything up about it. But 23 years ago, soon to be 23 years ago, on that day, we had 3 buildings. All right, okay. And I said, hey, do you think we need to investigate why? Maybe the construction? No. Do you think it's important that maybe we find out how many of those buildings are likely constructed like this? Because according to this, any plane hits that building, boop, they're going to fall down. Anybody? Nope. You don't have any interest in it? Not at all. Well, you just told me that the reason why 3 fell and free fall speeds was because of whatever. Yeah. So don't you think it's a good idea? And one building wasn't even hit by anything. So don't you think maybe at least we should have nope. Doesn't that sound interesting to you? Doesn't that make you think like, what? What? So we were told this. Just that's what Kate is. It's gaslighting. It's like they're making, what are you, crazy? What do you know? What are you worried about these buildings? I said, did you see them? Of course I saw them. What are you talking? You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a nut. You're a nut. You are crazy. You're a nut. You're a fool. Now, at first, when Kate put out that picture of hers, people said, that's Photoshop. No, it's not. You are absolutely crazy. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. You are demented. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are clearly demented. There's nothing to see here. Nothing. What are you talking about? What is this fixation you have with pointing out the obvious and always finding something? The picture was Photoshopped. It wasn't Photoshopped. That's Kate. Where's her ring? Quit asking questions about where her ring is. What's the matter with you? Why do you do this? Why do you ask questions about where her ring is? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's nothing to see here. Then what happens? They said it was Photoshopped. Wait a minute. You just told me it wasn't. I know. You called me a conspiracy theorist. I know. You said it was crazy. I know. So you're saying it was Photoshop? Mm-hmm. But you said it wasn't. I know. Gaslight. You're crazy. It's true. It's not true. Oh, and by the way, Kate took some other pictures. What? She Photoshopped others. A picture of her with her family before? Kate did that too. She's done more of this? Why is Kate putting out Photoshop pictures? I don't know. Why do you allow this? What are you getting at? What are you getting at? You see what I'm doing? What are you asking questions for? What are you talking about? The shape of the Pentagon is a star. What the hell's the matter with you? Why are you asking questions? Just shut up. Remember Honey Hanjur? How'd you know his name? How do you know who flew? How do you know anything? How did this guy get a plane? What? Where's the tape? Shut up. Shut up. Don't ask questions. What's the matter with you? I'm just asking. Don't ask questions. You see where this is? You see, they're gaslighting you constantly. You know, this bridge, shut up. Okay. I don't understand. Now, here's the best one. Did you find friends? See that fellow who claims that he saw Kate? Remember that one? After doing an APB. Now, listen to this. Listen to this. APB, all points bulletin, Bolo, be on the lookout for the most wanted woman on the face of the earth. Everybody is looking for, is she alive? Is she dead? People love it. And they're saying it not out of any kind of mean, whatever. They're very, very serious. They're worried. Is she all right? Is she okay? Okay, fine. So what do? They go and they find out that she's nowhere. And then one day they said, hey, good news. What? Kate was seen. She had a nice little stroll with Wills. What? Now, as far as Wills goes, I don't know. It could be his head was kind of tilted. And before that, we saw some picture of her in the Range Rover with her head turned, couldn't even see anything, and the bricks were different. Remember that? You don't even need any kind of analysis. When you look through the window in the back of the Range Rover, the bricks were different, or the view than was seen on top of the car. They didn't even. Are they stupid, or do they want you to say, put that out so they'll ask questions, so that when we ask questions, we'll say, what are you, some kind of a nut? But the best one is, did you see that picture of her? That's not Kate. It's not Kate walking. Who's this? Like, this girl's 22 years old. Who is this? Now, hear me out. Here's a woman who was the most wanted woman on the face of the earth, okay? Face of the earth, the planet. This is the woman who everybody wants to know who she is, okay? Not one camera. Nobody has a camera. Not the people inside the store. None of the patrons. First of all, they don't notice this huge security contingent because Kate and Wills just don't jump in the back of the Jaguar and take off down the road to pick up some banana bread. It doesn't work like that. She is the queen consort of the soon-to-be, let's face it, Chuck doesn't, I guess he's not doing well, but it's going to be Wills. He's going to be the king of England. He's it. He's it. There's a very big security contingent. You just don't drive down the street. You know, the provisional IRA, a lot of folks are still around. They're still pissed off. And who knows? Who knows? So there she is. And there they are, walking around doing their thing. It's the most incredible story anybody's ever seen. It's the most incredible story anybody has ever. I mean, so not one. Listen to me. Not one person has a camera. Not one person has a camera. Nobody. No cameras. Nobody there. Nobody there. Not the woman in the cash register. Not the checkout. None of the staff. None of the patrons. Nobody had the cat. We take pictures of everything. Nobody said, "Hey, there's Kate." Nobody goes up and bother. Can we take a selfie? Nothing. She's left unalone, unmolested, unencumbered, just walking along as though the person walking wasn't Kate. And yet some guy who happened to be there pulls his phone out and says, "Hey, I'm going to take a sniper shot, some picture from like a mile away." What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Looks nothing like her. Looks nothing like her. And then finally, what do? They're gaslighting you. Then they say, okay, she's going to be speaking. Did you see that picture of her? Now, I don't know if it's AI. I don't know that much about AI. I know what it is, but I can't look at fake, deep fakes. I don't know. But it was the weirdest. What was this lighting? What was that? Does that lighting exist anywhere on the planet? It was like diaphanous and was weird. And what is this? What the hell's going on here? Okay, fine. Then we have her sitting there and okay, I don't know. She looked okay, a little gaunt, but still, I don't know if she had a wig on. I have no idea. I wish her the best. I don't have any ill feelings about her. But the painting, but the flowers behind her were like painted. They weren't moving. And BBC or whatever said, yeah, we took this like a Wednesday, came out on a Friday, and they said we were outside. You're not outside. Nothing's moving. There's nothing. Look at it. Watch it. Don't take my word for it. But I'm supposed to believe them. And guess what? Where's Kate now? I don't know. Where's she on Easter? I don't know. Gaslighting. You're crazy. You're crazy. Let's look at the term. Okay. Gaslighting is a type of psychological manipulation that involves someone trying to make another person question their own reality, memory, sanity, perceptions. The term comes from the 1944 film Gaslight and became popular in the mid-2010s. And it became a type of deception of one's perception of reality. And that's what you are. You are being manipulated. They're manipulating you into thinking you've lost your mind, or you're some kind of you're a crazy person. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a nut. You're a white racist. You're crazy. And then Diddy. Oh my God. This story is so good. And most of the time, people, the biggest problem is they look at Diddy and they're saying, I can't stand this guy. By the way, Diddy cannot close his mouth. Isn't that funny? With all the money he's got and all but he cannot close his mouth. His teeth are too big. His mouth is too small. But I'm fat. A fly could just, Bill Clinton's like that too, who's looking real bad lately. Did you see that big debate they had? The big thing they had the other night at Radio City? Did you see that? Did you see that? See how Bill looked? He looked like Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke looks better, and Dick Van Dyke's in his 80s, 90s rather. Excuse me. Anyway, Diddy. Do you know this Uptown Records? The only two people who are alive from that is Al B. Sure, and he almost died of a stroke. There's Andre Harrell, Heavy D, Kim Porter, dead. And the reason why I know most people don't care about this is they're saying, I don't care about him. I'm not into hip hop. Saying, no, this is a great story. No. Now we're finding out. I ask you this: why are they all of a sudden going out? Why are they going after him now? Everything they say now, they knew about before. Tell me. Dickie Bork, Faye, Johnny Pittman. Where? Nantolola, MK Ultra. Remember when they said MK Ultra was? Remember when they said you're crazy? You're crazy. There is MK Ultra. Remember that before? That is MK Ultra. This is one of those operations that you have been told about and knew about forever, but they have denied it. The banks are after him because he won't pay his bills. No. He never really had any paid bills before. He was highly leveraged. I mean, everybody knew that one. $100 million, $300 million. Look, some people said the guy's got it. Something happened all of a sudden. Let me ask you a question. Are they going to get him, yes or no? Answer me. Answer me. They're going to get him? Arruda, they're going to get him? Zigzag, Howie, they're going to get him? Maria, they're going to get him? They're going to get, is Diddy going to go to prison? Faye says yes. Beastie Blast. I'd love to know I love your thumbnails and I love your names. Because I like hand farts for you. Hang on a minute. Sorry. That's it. If you're new, this is how I send my love to you. As his lawyer, what would you recommend? I would say they're coming after you. They're circling the gate. They're circling. The sharks are circling. Now, very interesting. They're after him. We have a mayor by the name of Eric Adams. They didn't arrest him, but they seized his phone, seized his stuff, and his fundraiser. He's still walking around. Are they going to Epstein him? What are they going to do? Epstein was still the best case ever. Epstein was still the best case ever. Epstein was something which is better than you've got to ask. You see, nobody is even in. And I don't have the answers. I'm asking, where is this? Epstein was whacked in front of everybody. Remember what I'm telling you. This is the most important thing in the world. Pittman knows this. Pity knows. Pity. I pity the fool. They took Epstein out to show you that, first of all, they can get anybody they want, anytime they want, anywhere they want. And they killed him and they whacked him in the MCC, in the federal lockup. They killed him. They broke his neck, but basically they choked him. It was a choke, not a carotid restraint. Fractured hyoid, fractured thyroid cartilage. They did this right there in front of you. And then they said to you, what? You killed him. No, he didn't. It was suicide. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. They gaslight you again. Michael Baden said it wasn't. Michael Baden, the forensic pathologist, good friend of mine, he said, no. Hyoid cartilage, fractured, thyroid cartilage, hyoid bone rather, thyroid cartilage, petechial hemorrhaging, the whole bit, everything aligned. No. Homicide. You know the 5 types of death, right? NASH, the acronym NASH, natural, accidental, suicide, homicide, and unexplained. NASHU. This was homicide. But what did they tell you? No. Bill Barr, the attorney general, said, I think it was suicide. Don't you love it? They look you right in the eyes and it's suicide. Suicide? Yeah, suicide. It's all suicide. Do you see what they do? And they do this and they just want you just to sit there and they're trying to train you not to ask any questions. They want you to be stupid. They want you to be afraid. They want you to look and say, well, that doesn't make any sense. And when you say something, they do a number of things. Number one, they call you crazy. Number two, they threaten your social media platform. If you say anything about that, if you question anything about COVID, Ukraine, history, certain groups, if you say, I think maybe does this look like genocide to you? Oh, you're done. And remember, the government's saying, we didn't do this to you. Listen to me and listen carefully. The government says, we didn't do this. They did it. You got a beef? That's a beef. You got a beef with Zuckerberg. With that's Instagram or something. That's Facebook. That's not us. That's a Twitter thing. It's not us. Yeah, but Twitter files basically said that these social media platforms are proxies for the government. Well, maybe I prove that one. We don't look at us. We just want you to tell the truth and trust the science. And this is the most incredible thing in the world, and I want you to grasp that. Your parents never saw this. Nobody's ever seen this. This dystopian nonsense. Eric Blair, George Orwell didn't see this. They're taking proxies and agents to shut you down, and they're gaslighting you. And you need courage to ask questions, but do not be one of these idiots. Like I told you, people during 9/11, Cheney did it. How do you know that? Because it's it's they love to just, once they have a question, they just jump to the answer. Now wait a minute. Again, we don't know anything yet. I've spent my entire life studying, reading, watching JFK, the JFK assassination. I can't tell you who killed him. Can you? No. Can you? Nope. No. Look at Arruda. Nino Scalia. He had a pillow on his head. Now, I don't know about you, but I need a little bit more than that. Maybe it moved, maybe during the course or something. This is the most important thing in the world. This is not about you, Pittman. It's not about you, Arruda, Larry Fisher, Zigzag, Faye. It's not about you, Faye, K-Faye, or you wrestling fans. This is about trying to condition you to not look the other way, but to tamp down, turn off, and tone down your reaction. It's to build your allegiance. This is interesting. Now, if you were in a jury, you would be asked to evaluate the facts of the case, and based upon the presentation of the evidence, you would be asked whether the state or the government proved beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt and with a degree of moral certainty whether the crime was presented. That's it. You're asked to do this all the time. But they want you to not answer any questions. And they want you also to be just, they want you to just look elsewhere, worry about other things. Worry about Nicole Wallace, whether she lost it. Whether, my favorite is torched. Megyn Kelly torches, so-and-so torches, Joe Rogan torches. They want you to worry about the Candace Owens debate with Ben Shapiro. Who cares? I have no interest in this. They want you to ask to not ask, do you believe there is an organized, legitimate lobby in supporting of Israel? Do you think AIPAC is a Israeli lobby? Yes. It's called, well, you're an anti-Semite. I am not. I resent that. I have no problem. Just like with me, I love my country, not too crazy about my government. Israel's a wonderful place. Love Israel. I've been there twice. It's great. Bibi Netanyahu, another story. Likud, another story. That's another story. They don't want you to be able to identify the two. They want you to be called they're going to call you an anti-Semite. It's like, why? I didn't say anything about Jews. Well, you said something about it. I said something about the Israeli government. But they're doing that. They're saying that read a Haaretz, read the editorial in Jerusalem. Oh, they're anti-Semitic too. They're Israeli Jews. They're anti-Semitic. Yes. Are you anti-Zionist? Well, maybe I'm not saying this. But there are some people who say I'm not. I don't believe in Zionism. You're an anti-Semite. But there are Jews who don't believe in it, and there are Christians who are pro-Zionist. I mean, do you see what they're doing? They want to scare you. They don't want you to think. You should be able to ask any question you want at any time regarding anything. It's that simple. There's nothing wrong with that. Please ask away. Ask away. That's all. Let me ask you a question. Yesterday was, and people are asking under the law, under the Constitution, whether you should be able to extend rights to transgenders. Listen to me carefully, and here's a very important. Do you know, or have you ever known, a transgender, somebody who is not somebody who is a cross-dresser, not somebody who's gay, not somebody who's non-binary, but somebody who is a transgender, either through operation, through surgery, through hormones, or whatever it is. Somebody through a transmutation, a transmogrification. Do you know of anybody? Anybody? Are you familiar with that? I've known one. I'm here in New York. Yesterday we had a wonderful Easter celebration, and one of our friends in the group has been in the makeup and business, known everybody. She's known too. This is 25 years or so. Two, not transgender, not because there are people sometimes like RuPaul. I don't know if I'm correct, but they may say, "Oh, I'm a man, but I dress whatever." I'm talking about transgender, real transgender. So what are we talking about? When I was growing up in Florida, not Florida, Florida, and Florida is where you don't want to go to Florida. That's where the rednecks and it's different. And we had this one guy that said, "You boys better be careful going out to that carnival." What is this? Morphodites. I said, "What? Morphodites? Morphodites? What the hell's a morphodite? You mean a hermaphrodite? No, morphodite. A morphodite? I swear to God, I see hear this." And that was a term they used for perverts, or kind of like the yetis of child. So I think I saw a morphodite once. So what are we talking about? So when I asked the question, "Excuse me, does anybody know any trans?" He goes, "You're a transphobe." I said, "I'm a morphodite phobe too, because I don't see them either. I'm asking the question, where are they? I didn't say I don't believe and they should have any right. I want to meet one. Do you ever met anybody? I want to meet one. Where are they? They're like the unicorns. Where are they? Not gays, not somebody. I know a friend. He's kind of wears like, maybe he'll wear like a turban and a chiffon. He looks like, you remember like Waylon Flowers and Madam? He looks like Madam. He's a man, and he says, "Well, I'm a man. I'm a gay man, but I dress like." So he's not a trans. Where are these people? So when I ask the question, they call me a transphobe, because I'm going to ask the question. They're gaslighting you. They're gaslighting you. You going to put up with this anymore? Don't. So let me thank you for this. You guys are terrific. Morphodites. Jenny G. Literally unicorns. Well, it's funny you say that, but this is but Jenny, this would be for a male. A woman, I don't even know what to do with that one. What are you going to take? Oh dear God, don't take. The first person ever on TV who was legitimate was Chaz Palminteri, Chaz Mono. Remember Chaz? Chaz was this before anybody was. Chaz is. I think Chaz went to the surgeon. Definitely the hormones. Chaz is legit. Now, I know there have been people, absolutely, who feel like they say, I am born inside the wrong body. I know that's an interesting phrase, but that's kind of what they believe in. I think it's okay. But what I don't understand is, where are they? I know there was Chaz. Remember Renee Richards? Any folk you old enough for that? The tennis player, Christine Jorgensen. Hey man, you want to become a woman? You want to get a penectomy? Want to get a penectomy? Remove your penis and then try to form labia. We'll try to kind of mimic the bulbourethral raphe, form labia. It's not going to. It's going to be functionally. I mean, it's going to be tissue, but you cannot make a vulva. And by the way, it's not a vagina; it's a vulva. You do know this, right? And I love when women refer to their vulva as a vagina. I saw her vagina. You did? What, did you have a speculum? How did you see her vagina? Well, she's outside. No, you saw maybe a vulva. What? You perhaps maybe saw the external, the mons veneris. Is that what you? Well, no, she got a Brazilian. Okay, fire enough. Well, what did you see? Well, you didn't see it. You did not see a vagina. Vagina from the Latin vagina, meaning sheath. The introitus, the birth canal. You cannot see a vagina. Hello, ladies. Do I have to tell you this? You do not see anything. So you cannot make a vagina. You're not going to have anything that has sensitivity, or you can't fashion a clitoris. You can't do any of this stuff. So whatever surgery, unless you just want, just to remove it, that's fine. And puberty, oh my God, puberty blocking, puberty transmogrification. And how are you going to do it? Ladies, you're going to fashion a penis that doesn't work? You're going to be incontinent? You're not going to be able to have orgasms? What are you doing? Caitlyn Jenner. Now listen to this. Let me ask you a question. Faye, let me ask you. Let me ask, how many other ladies here? Faye, we got, okay, Faye, Jenny, any others? Dub? Not sure whether Dub is, probably Dub Taylor. Deborah? Okay, ladies only. Let me ask you this question, okay? Now, here's my question. Caitlyn Jenner is a man. She has not had surgery other than perhaps some cosmetic, maybe some hormonal, maybe, but I don't know if there's, I do not believe that there has been actual genital transmogrification surgery, whatever it is. And I don't think that really matters, because men, you know this. If for some reason, God forbid, you got too close to a belt sander or something really happened, you're not going to be a woman just because you lost your 3-piece set, as we say. You know that? I mean, doesn't that make sense to you? Of course it does. So nobody's suggesting that you're, whatever. Okay. So here's the question. And also, if I recall correctly, Caitlyn Jenner says she likes women. Did you hear this? Did you hear this? Did you hear this? So here's my question. Ready for this? If Caitlyn Jenner, look at this. Jenny says Jenner was Caitlyn woman. Jenner was ESPN Woman of the Year, being a woman less than a year. Okay. She still likes women. Thank you, Shay. Now here's my question. If she likes women, if Caitlyn Jenner says, I am a woman in my head, irrespective of genitalia, whatever it is, but I'm a woman, hear me roar, the number's too big to ignore, but if I'm a woman and I like women, am I a lesbian? Yes or no? Thank you. Here's my question. Is Caitlyn Jenner a lesbian? Shouldn't she like men if she is a woman? Answer the question. Dun, 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 dun. Answer the question. Dun, 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 dun. Na, 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 na. Dub is confused. Caitlyn Jenner is a lesbian. Thank you. So Caitlyn Jenner does a big switcheroo to be a lesbian. Ta-da! It's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. I have no idea what that even means. I have no idea. Question number 2. And do people use the terms lesbian or lesbian? Lesbian? She's a lesbian. I like sapphic from Sappho. I always thought that was a good one. Sapphic is a good one. Do people use the word lesbian anymore? Does anybody use the term lesbian? Let me ask you this. Another question. If you have taken a vow of celibacy, a vow of poverty, excuse me, a vow of celibacy, poverty. Let's say you become a Catholic priest and you have taken a vow of celibacy and you have no sex. Are you gay or straight if you've never had sex? What does that mean? If you, for whatever reason, let's say medical reason, let's say whatever, let's say you do not engage, but does your sexuality depend? Is it a mental thing? Is it your gender? What is it exactly? Please define it to me. Please define it to me. If somebody says you're a gay priest, I'm not a gay priest. What? I vow not to have sex. I don't have sex. Yeah, but if you wanted to have sex, I don't want to have sex. I vow, take a vow, take it very seriously. I do not want to have sex. So what are you? What are you? What does that mean? How do you determine that? And if for some reason, if you are unable to engage in it because let's say if a belt sander accident, what happens? These are the things I don't understand. Another question I don't understand. President Obama is called biracial, correct? Yes. Mother's white, father's black, yes. But they call him specifically, he said he's the first black president. Why is he not white? Take your time. Dun, 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 dun. Why is it that he is not considered white? Why is it that any introduction of a non-white race to the phylogenetic pool eliminates any claim of being white? What does that mean? That's my race question. What does this mean? I don't. There are people who I know and I've seen, and they're in, let's say, in Brazil, and they are as dark and black as you can imagine, but they are technically Caucasian. If they marry somebody who's red hair and freckles from Dublin, and they would say, "Is that a bi rate?" No, because they're too white. How about a person who is Indian, dark skin, Punjabi, whatever, Indian, Asian? That's considered Caucasian. That's not Negroid at all. Is that these words we use? So my question is, what are we doing wasting our time there? I never understood why do we call President Obama black? He's white. Why? Because they said, well, because his father was black. No, his mother was white. Doesn't that count more? His mother, the person who gave him birth? No. Now, what I've been talking about to me, is maybe it's the lawyer in me. I just ask questions. I'm going to leave you now, Don Corleone. I'm going to leave you. May your first child be a masculine child. I want to thank you so much. Johnny Pittman, Johnny, you were on fire today. On fire. Faye, what can I say to you? Thank you so much. Larry Fisher, Big Larry. Shazer, Debbie Young, Forever Young. White Monkey, I'd lose that. Sorry about that. Sometimes this thing, I just touched that thing there and it goes crazy. All right. So thank you. Johnny, we love your show as well. Zigzag, you're amazing. And I use it, by the way, 2 words I hate, amazing and awesome. You, sir, are amazing. Captain Trips, thank you, buddy boy. I think you're a captain. I'm presuming you are. Aruda, thank you. This is fun. It was fun during the day. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Okay. Don't ever let whatever that Biden feller does. Yesterday was Easter. I don't care whether you're a Jew, a Muslim, an atheist, or a bifusal, or a morphodite. Doesn't matter. It was Easter, the high holy days of the Christian faith. All right, dear friends, please make sure, is everyone here? Answer, yes or no. Is everyone here? Is everyone here subscribed? You must be subscribed. You must. And I ask you to please like this video. Liking the video sets us into the next, it's like puts us into the highway. That's all I ask. Please. That's all. So you have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. We'll see you. By the way, stay tuned because you know what? These things pop up and I'll let you know. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. It is such a pleasure being with you. You have no idea. I love this. You give me, you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my day because you are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You are so beautiful to me. Okay, till the next time, my friends, as I always end, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.